Let's learn the Haftorah of this week's Torah portion. We we learned the Torah portion. We went over it in a general way, and we learned some of the Rashi and the the Pesukim and the Orach Chaim, the Kli Yakar, and the Balaturim, the Seforno. We're doing different commentaries on the portion, and then we learned all of the laws from the book of Mitzvot Hashem. We learned all of the, what was it? How did we say them? There were 68 laws that are in this week's Torah portion. So we did a lot, but this on Shabbat, there's also a Haftorah that we read. And the Haftorah is something similar to the Torah portion. And this is a Haftorah from the prophet Amos. Prophet Amos, he was one of the prophets, Amos, he was one of the prophets that was in the time of the first temple. And he prophesied to the upper kingdom. The kingdom was called Israel. There were 10 tribes that were in Israel, and there was two tribes. There were two tribes that were in the south. That was called Yehuda. The two tribes in the south, of course, were Yehuda and Benjamin. And all the upper ones. Now the upper tribes, the upper 10 tribes, they were in the time of began with Yerovam ben Nevat, and he built these two big cities. It took two big cities, and he built in them golden calves, and he put guards on the border so that people couldn't go to the holy temple. And the people sort of enjoyed the whole business, and they worshipped idols over there for like 250 years, until came along a king Shalmaneser, and he took them all into exile, and they're in exile to this day. That's the 10 lost tribes. So this prophet Amos, he was coming in trying to warn everybody, and of course it didn't work. Listen to the prophets. And that's why the temple was destroyed, and that's why they were taken into prison. So here we go. So he said, Hello, ki b'nei chushim atem li, b'nei Israel, nu'um Hashem, hello at Yisrael, halisi meretz Mitzrayim, u'pelishtim mikaftor v'aram makir. So he's saying, let me see if I just, one second. I have just the page. So he's reproving the Jews. Now, you should know the history. What happened over there is that the people wanted absolutely nothing to do with him. And they tried to get rid of him. They tried to kick him out, and they tried to evict him from the country. In any case, they didn't want to listen to him at all. So, there we go. Yes. So I said, you like the sons of the Kushim. Tell me, what does it mean? Let's see. Rashi says, why should I prevent you? Acharei asher einechem shavim alai. Why should I send prophets to you to reprove you, because you're not taking me serious anyway? Hello, mibnei Noach batem. You came, you were one of the three sons of Noah. Shem, Cham, v'Yafet. Like all the other nations. Like, for instance, Kushim, they're somewhat similar to you. Like it says, the Kushim, usually the Kushim were like dark-skinned people. And it says later on, you'll see in Jeremiah, it says, can a Negro, can he change the color of his skin? No, the same thing the Jewish people, you're never going to change your ways. That's what he's saying. So he's really reproving them. Even though I took you up from the land of Israel, from Kaftor and Aram, return for these places, I took you up, I've been saving you. And look how you repay me. Hine Hashem, the eyes of God, the mamlacha chata'a, are in this evil kingdom. And I will destroy it from the face of the earth. I will destroy it from the face of the earth. but I will not totally destroy the house of Yaakov. I won't totally destroy all of the Jewish people. In other words, I'll destroy Yisrael. See, there we go. I'll destroy the upper kingdom, Malchus Beis David, but I will not, but Malchus Beis Yisrael, I will destroy the upper kingdom, these 10 tribes, because they do all sorts of sins, and I will get rid of you from the earth. These are the 10 tribes. They're going to be taken away in the 9th year of Hoshea ben Elah. He was the king at that time. But I will not destroy you all. What does it mean? I'll won't destroy all of you totally. In other words, you'll be exiled to different places, but you won't be destroyed totally. Your people will be they'll be living in exile. Kihini, because I will mitzaveh, because behold, I am commanding v'na'avosi b'kol hagoyim, and I will shake from the nations the house of Israel, and those are the upper 10 tribes, just like a person shakes shakes grains in a sieve, but no pebbles will fall to the ground. In other words, what does it mean? That the pebbles, those are the good people in Israel, and they'll stay above, but the evil people, they'll fall out. I'll sift them out. Usually in a sieve, it's exactly the opposite. Usually the good stuff comes out. But here he's saying the bad stuff is going to come out, and the good things, they're going to remain up on the top. They'll be exiled among all the nations. I'm not going to send somebody to kill everybody, all the Jews. The Jews will be exiled all around. That's what we see right now. Even though most of the people that are exiled now, they are from the 10 tribes. They are from the 2 tribes from now, after the destruction of the second temple. But still, nevertheless, there could be people that says that one of the things Moshiach is going to do is he's going to bring the people from the 10 tribes. How in the world he's going to know who's from the 10 tribes? I don't know, because you have to remember that the destruction of the first temple, that was like 2,500 years ago. And the 10 tribes, they were taken away about 150 years before that. So how they could have kept their identity, I don't know, but nevertheless, it says that that's what Moshiach is going to do, or in the time of the Moshiach anyway, all the Jews, even people that don't know that they're Jews, they're all going to come back to Israel. Becherev Yamutu. Oh, very good. Okay, we're learning the Haftorah, the portion of the Torah that's read in the synagogue on Shabbat after the reading of the Torah. Okay, it's from the prophet Amos, the 9th chapter of the prophet Amos. If you have a book, you can look and see. By sword will die all the sinners of my people. By the sword they will die all the sinners of my people who say, Lo tagish, that I say that the punishment will not come close to us and it won't proceed. Right? Evil won't come to us any sooner. We'll do what we want to. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay. It's been okay up to now, it'll be okay. Right? It's like the person that he's falling from like a 100-story building, and somebody at like the 50th story says, how is everything doing? He says, listen, up to now, everything's all right. Everything's been okay. They were falling, and the prophet is telling them, don't assure yourselves that nothing is going to happen, because it will. You're going to be taken into captivity. Bayomahu, on this day, I will lift up Sukkah David Anafelat. I will lift up the Sukkah, one second. Oh, here it is. One day, on that day, I will raise up the fallen booth of King David. For Gedarti et Pritzotean, and I will solve. Now he's jumping over to the days of the Moshiach. He says, that day I will fix up all of the holes in the fence of the Jewish people. I'll repair the says Gedarti et Pritzotean, Parisatean, and all of the destruction that was in the land of Israel, I will lift up and I'll build it like it was before. On that day, this means after everyone comes the day which is prepared for the future redemption, Geula, like we're learning in the morning, and I will raise up Sukkot David Nafelet. What do you mean Sukkot Nafelet? Means this will be the kingship of King David. They'll all be raised up. That's what we say in the prayers of the Birkat HaMazon after eating on the holiday of Sukkot. This is, what do you mean I'll raise up Sukkot David Nafelet? I'm talking about the Holy Temple. The Holy Temple, and I will build it like it was before. I will build the Holy Temple like it was. Here, God is saying that I'm going to build it. So we see from here is another hint that the third temple will be built by God. This is what we're reading on this Shabbat, right? Okay. Laman Yershu et Sherit Yisrael, Sherit Edom, Kol Goyim, so that the Jews will inherit the the Jews will inherit the Jews whom my name is called on them will inherit the remnants of Edom and all of the nations. In other words, all the other religions and things like this. The Jewish people, they will inherit the non-Jews, the Gentiles from all of the world. I mean, how are you going to do a thing like that? There's so few. So the answer is that the non-Jews willfully will say, up to now we've been doing what we wanted and we were so sure of ourselves and we've just been bumping around in the darkness. So in that day, when the Jewish people show everybody, listen, there's a God that's creating and he's creating you too, and we're his representatives. So then all the non-Jews will also come to their senses. That's what God said, and I'm going to be the one that's going to do it. I will do it. Behold, days are coming, said God, and there's going to be a lot of plenty. The plower will, the plower, nigash choresh b'katzir, those who plow will meet the reaper. In other words, that the treader of grapes will meet the one who's carrying the seed. In other words, what it means that you'll plant seeds, the crops will be so abundant that they'll last from the whole year until the time of harvest, and then you'll be harvesting, and then they're planting the new seeds immediately. So it'll be great plenty in the land of Israel. And the mountains will drip juice, and all of the hills will all melt. Titmogogeno. What does that mean? It means the ground will be very soft because of the much rain. And right, how the mountains will flow. It says they'll flow good wine and good sweet wine. The fact of the matter is that Israel has won some of the top prizes in the world for their wine. I know somebody, in fact, and he refused to work on this. He had big vineyards, and he said he's not going to work on them on the sabbatical year, the Shemitah year. And everybody said he was crazy. You're going to lose. Even now, this is just recently, and he didn't work on it. And sure enough, when he did press the grapes, he won prizes all over the place. I tasted some of the wine; it's really tasty, really quite good. I mean, who am I to tell you? He won prizes all over the world, so I'm adding something big. The wine tasted good. Obviously, it did taste good. And I also I'm not very much of a connoisseur b'yayin, but the people who are connoisseurs said that it was really good, and some of the best wines in the world come from Israel. Pretty interesting. So I don't know if it's a sign of anything, but it's a sign that the wine is good. says the time will come, there will be such tremendous plenty everywhere, and I will return all of the exiles of my people, and I will build mountains. Not only is he going to bring back the Jews, he's going to even bring back the Israelis that left Israel. This is going to be a big miracle. And will build all the destroyed cities, the Yashvu, and people will dwell in them, and Natu Kromim, the Shatu et Yenom, and they will drink the wine, and they will make gardens, and they will eat from the fruits. This is the best part. And they will plant on their land, and they will never leave it anymore. They will never leave the land anymore that I have given to them, said God, your God. It's talking about the third redemption. This is what we're going to read today on Shabbat in the daytime in the synagogue close to you. So now you'll know what everybody is reading. You can read it. You won't fall asleep like everybody else does when they read the Haftorah. Now, let us learn a little bit from Pirkei Avot. Let's go and learn some Pirkei Avot over here.